Today, we're going to talk about one of the wildest stories in the world of crypto. It's about a digital heist so massive, it's almost hard to believe, all orchestrated by one person who became known as the Crypto Queen.
Okay, let's just start with the number because it's absolutely insane. 60,000 crore rupees. That's over 5 billion pounds. And no, that's not the value of some tech company. That's the amount of money seized in a single crypto investigation.
And behind this staggering number is the unbelievable story of the world's biggest Bitcoin fraud. We're going to break down exactly how one woman fooled thousands of investors across the globe, how it all came crashing down, and what this whole thing tells us about the wild world of cryptocurrency.
So, let's actually start near the end of the story, the moment this whole thing unraveled, which led to the largest crypto seizure in history.
I mean, just look at these numbers. The Metropolitan Police in London, they recovered 61,000 Bitcoins. To give you some perspective, at the time, that was worth about 5 billion pounds. It is, without a doubt, the biggest crypto seizure the world has ever seen.
And the whole dramatic saga reached its climax right here at London's Southwark Crown Court. This is where the mastermind behind it all, a woman named Jimin Chan, finally admitted to everything.
Which, of course, brings us to the main character in all of this. Who exactly was this so-called crypto queen? How did she manage to pull off a scam of this magnitude?
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? Who is the brain behind this incredibly complex system that duped so many people and raked in billions?
Well, her name is Jimin Chan. She's a Chinese national who also went by the alias Yadi Zong. And she was the brilliant and criminal architect behind this entire scheme.
But in the shadowy world of underground crypto, she was known as something else. She built up this whole persona, this larger-than-life reputation. Her followers called her the goddess of digital wealth. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about the power and influence she had.
And you better believe she lived up to the title. The money from this scam funded an absolutely outrageous lifestyle. We're talking luxury villas, private jets, closets full of high-end jewelry, the whole 9 yards. All of it, of course, bought with other people's money.
Okay, so the big question. How did she do it? How does one person build an empire like this? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of how this scam actually worked. The system she built was almost elegant in its simplicity, just using modern tech. First, she launched these fake investment packages, promising they were funding some next-level blockchain projects. The hook? An unbelievable, guaranteed high return on investment. Of course, the money wasn't being invested at all. She was just using money from new investors to pay off the early ones, which created this illusion of success. And the real profits? She funneled them into a web of encrypted crypto wallets, making the money almost completely untraceable.
And if that setup sounds familiar, it's because it's one of the oldest tricks in the book. It's a textbook Ponzi scheme. The whole thing is designed to look like a legitimate success, but it's a house of cards that's guaranteed to collapse the second new money stops flowing in. And this right here really shows you the deception. People thought they were investing in the future of technology, but the reality was just a classic scam. They were promised huge, safe returns, but their cash was just going into the pockets of earlier investors and, of course, Jimin Chan herself. They thought they were on a secure, cutting-edge platform, when really it was just a system built to steal their money.
But in the end, no matter how clever the system was, the digital world always leaves a trail, and that trail led investigators right to her doorstep. In court, she pleaded guilty to the 2 charges that perfectly described her entire operation: fraud and money laundering.
So, now that the dust has settled, what does a case this huge mean for the rest of the crypto world? Let's talk about the global impact, and more importantly, the lessons we can all take away from this.
This quote really hits the nail on the head. The very thing that makes crypto so appealing, the anonymity, is also what makes it a playground for criminals like Jimin Chan. It's this double-edged sword that provides freedom for investors, but also a perfect hiding place for crime.
You know, the reaction online was fascinating. People in the crypto community were shocked, obviously, but there was also this weird sense of awe. On social media, people started calling her the female version of Satoshi gone rogue. You know, a nod to Satoshi Nakamoto, the anonymous creator of Bitcoin. It just goes to show you how much this story really captured people's imagination.
Okay, but what's the most important takeaway here? How do you protect yourself? The lessons are pretty clear. 1. Always do your homework and verify the platform you're using.
2, check if it's actually compliant with any financial regulations. 3, and this is the big one, if anyone promises you guaranteed high returns, you should run. That's a massive red flag. And finally, be super careful with any cross-border schemes that operate outside of your country's laws.
And all of this really leaves us with one big, lingering question. The story of the crypto queen is a pretty stark reminder of the dark side of this unregulated financial world. So you have to ask yourself, is the incredible freedom that crypto offers really worth the enormous risk that clearly comes along with it? That's definitely something to think about.